I'm Furio Barzon. I'm the CEO of Green Prefab Italian, and we are based in Italy, in the north of Italy, in Trento.
My name is Franco Vietti. I'm the business developer officer of Green Prefab. Originally, I'm from Argentina. I've been working for more than 12 years in the environmental business or industry in Argentina. And the latest 15 years, I create a modular manufacture company with some partners in Argentina. So we develop at some point the market and emerging market there in Argentina and Latin America. In the latest years, I joined Green Prefab towards what we are doing here in Europe, mostly for new buildings related to modular construction, 2D and 3D, and also for existing buildings related to retrofitting, mainly in 2D.
So, if we have to mention one, we should mention scaling. So scaling means that one of the main benefits of industrializing the process is that we can scale up exponentially. So before, all the techniques to build a building was linear. So I have more buildings, I have more workers, and I grow linearly. Here, with moving to a paradigm of industrialization, we can grow exponentially. And we need to do that, because only through prefabrication and modular approach, we can refine all the process in terms of the environment, in terms of the energy performance, and again, we should be compliant with all the international rules towards the climate change at the end. So this is the right solution to scale at the speed we need. And this is coming through the offsite production. Let me add that the scaling up of the process will bring the industry to a new level where also affordability will be allowed. Now, currently, we talk about reduction of prices using modular or prefab methods of about 10–15% compared to a traditional building of with the same performance. So we are already saving 10–15%. We feel that we can push that as growing with the industrial numbers up to 40–50%. So at the end, we're going to have a much better performance for a lower price, like it is happening for, let's say, the mobile phones.
Well, I think that most of the solutions already exist since a long time. But what I think is very interesting to focus or to point it out, that in general, modern methods of construction are bringing the whole industry a possible real solution to improve the way we've been building. I think that in the fields of the hybrid construction, integrating different methods, not only to be some kind of just 2D or 3D or steel structure or wooden structure. I think that the possibility of mixing those solutions in real cases is going to be one of the most important things that the projects will be start to be done with not only just one core or offsite solution, but are going to be done with different ones. Other field, of course, automation. At the very end, automation will come to modular or offsite construction, and I think that will be very important in order to speed up or accelerate exponentially the possibility of enlarging the capacity in terms of the goals that the modular construction have towards the environment. On the other hand, I've seen in the last years a very interesting trend in terms of the international shipping, of the way the projects are being delivered. Now we have cases of complete projects that are being manufactured in one place and being delivered to other places. The case of hotels being manufactured in Poland and being delivered in New York City, or other cases of this, even before it was a very difficult challenge. It was like some kind of barrier and a boundary that was very difficult to surpass. But now you can see that there's a possibility to build a global community of manufacturers or suppliers of modular solutions in a global scale. On the other hand, in terms of product, I think that the general use of wood and sustainable product that is being pushed a lot in the last years, I think is one of the things we need to mention, because at the very end is what we need. We need some kind of use of sustainable and good products in terms of tackle the whole problem.
Well, first of all, I would say the European Commission as the top agency that is already putting in place large funds, large investments in a sort of Green New Deal projects that is called the European New Deal. 40%, for what we understood, of all the European fund will be devoted for retrofitting existing buildings. This is happening in Italy already. We have in place some miraculous laws that say that people, owners of the home, they can retrofit the house basically for free up to 100,000 euros construction cost. That is involving the envelope, new windows, heating system, photovoltaic, solar, and this happening, multiplying the effort also on large buildings, large condominiums. This is coming through tax credits that can be converted at the bank in fresh money, transferring the tax credit to the banks, both from the companies and the single owners. So this is really making Italy emerging with an Italian model for this kind of incentives that I hope that will be spread out quickly. We actually are scouting here in the Netherlands, where we have the best players for retrofit, in order to persuade them to come to Italy to make this business, because we don't have companies there right now able to supply this incredible amount of requests. On the other side, we need a new kind of general contractors in place, because the old general contractors, they are working on the traditional way of having many suppliers in a very established structure of relationships. Here with the prefab industry and the modular offsite industry, basically general contractor is dealing with one only entity, the one single company. So this is putting the general contractor in a way that is reducing his power, and so it's better to stay in the old world. Or we need a new generation of general contractor that will be brand new, that will occupy the space of partnering with the manufacturers and offering the service they are really able to do. I would say on the software side, we are really impressed of what some very new companies led by very young guys are doing on generative design. So this generative design is basically a way to design through algorithms. And it's completely new because it's something that you add data and you get immediate shape produced by the computer that is also working on existing libraries of elements like modular types. So at the end, there are companies like Furio in UK or TestFit in California that are providing this kind of services that will be together with the traditional architect a very powerful tool for propagating the modular approach. On the other side, again, I'd like to spot the importance of the modularity approach on the retrofit of existing buildings. So 2D panelized solution to create new skills for the buildings, including windows and new walls with new materials produced off-site. Because the scale of what we need is of that magnitude. Here in the Netherlands, they say they need to retrofit about 50,000 homes per year, and it's about 5 per hour, 5 homes per hour. So we need to find solution to scale and not having the traditional workers on site that are mostly art and crafts, bricks after bricks methods. So we need to find solution, and of course, 2D panelized prefab companies are on the spot. And here again, we have Renolution, you have RC panels, you have Factory Zero. In Germany, there is EcoWorks. There are different companies that are on the spot of large investors, I'm sure. Finally, the case of Caterra in the US is something that everybody is looking at. We can consider still a startup because actually it started a little more than two years ago with an initial investment of $800 million. So this is a world where the world of the modular industry. In the case of Caterra, they are based on a timber frame, panelized solution with a lot of automation in the factory. So this is a world where a startup can start with an investment of that magnitude, so almost 1 billion. And that was impressing all the industry. So this is a turning point where the modular industry now is saying something important, and someone is starting looking at it with more attention. I would like people to feel a sense of urgency towards the new solution we should bring to the business and to the industry. I mean, we are moving towards a just and green transition in any field of humankind. So also construction industry usually is the slowest to move forward, has to follow this path. And in this case, the process is already in there. So basically, you can see this thing like creating new green jobs in the building industry in order to solve an environmental problem. That is the other big part, that is the real engine of all the transformation in the industry. So creating green jobs to solve environmental problems. Again, a sort of Green New Deal for the building industry. And we all should feel this sense of emergency or urgency to do this, because the scale of the problem we have to solve environmentally is huge, and we need to retrofit the existing buildings. We need to build the new buildings in a new way, like never before.